Ryan, what do we have here next, man? This is our fourth one today, I think.
Yes.
I'm trying to keep track.
All right, so the next one here.
How close I am to.
Our next one here is Citra. This is
Easy.
one of our monthly releases. We release it once a year. Citra is a type of hop. It's one of my favorite hops since I've been brewing beer. You'll get a lot of peach, a lot of passion fruit, a lot of like just intense tropical notes from it.
Is this sweet, a little bit sweeter than what we drank
The
before?
hops will make it taste a little sweeter, yeah.
Okay.
So this is a process called dry hopping, which is when it's done, I take the hops and I put it in.
Not to be
here.
confused with dry humping, right?
Cut you off. Yeah, so the process of hops, so when you use hops in beer, beer gets really sweet, which people don't realize. So you have to add hops into the boil when you're making beer in order to bitter it so you don't get all the sweetness. In this case, we're adding hops when everything's done, so there's no heating involved. So you only get the fruitiness of the hop and you don't get any of the bitterness to this.
Okay.
So
it doesn't taste like beer,
right?
Which is, that's what you get in some beer. That's where that bitterness comes from.
Yeah, it's from the hops. Yep.
Okay, that's good to know. Ryan, what are some of the other common myths of, mead? We were talking about them earlier before.
Yeah, so we said that people think it's going to be sweet, which it can range from super dry to super sweet. People think that it was invented by the Vikings.
Yeah,
we hear that all the time. That it's the Vikings.
Well, they made it popular, right?
So I don't want to take it away from them. They did spread it all over and made it popular. Vikings didn't come along though till about 900 AD, sometime around there. Mead dates back to 7000 BC, so it was around at least 8,000 years before the Vikings came on board. It's just that we know about the Vikings and they helped spread it. People think that it's going to be high in alcohol. Most of what we do is around 12%, so that is on the higher side. But as we'll get to later, we're starting to play around with some of the 5% range. So depending on how much how much honey we start with to begin with, that determines the alcohol level that we can start. So we can go all the way down, 2% if we wanted to. The other thing is that people think it's going to be thick and syrupy. They think of honey and they think, that honey thickness. But as you start to ferment it, you start swapping out that sugar for alcohol, and alcohol is a lot thinner than honey is.
Yeah.
So it drinks, as you can tell, it drinks closer to a wine than it does, honey. And the last thing that people think is that all mead's the same, and it's not. It all depends on your process, your honey, what yeast you're using, how you're aging it, where it's been stored. So every single meadery is going to start creating different meads that you can try.
I would tell you that most of the meat that I've drank, like I would even go as high as 99.99% that I've drank has been from Rebel Hive Meadery. I now ask if they have meat when I go places sometimes, but there's a lot of places that I've gone to that don't have it.
Yeah.
So the few places that have had it, then I taste the meat so I can start, becoming more aware of what else is out there. But I like I say, I feel like there's a lot of addressable market here.
There is.
Because it's just not mainstream.
Yeah, so we're really trying to push it, especially at bars and restaurants. Again, they don't think people really want it. So if you start going in and asking for it, they'll start doing it. And like I said, mead, at least to me, pairs much better with foods than a lot of wines and a lot of beers do. If bars and restaurants don't have it, they're missing out on a huge segment of the market. And we've been finding, especially with Gen Z, as they start coming into money now, they're enjoying less alcohol at a time, but they're buying higher end products, and they want gluten-free, kind of better for you type products. So even though they're drinking alcohol, they're going towards that. They love the honey base, they love the natural gluten-free, and just the flavor that you get from it. So they're really drawn to this.
Excellent. And do you get a lot of people, a lot of folks that are using mead and implementing it into their cooking other than yourself? I mean, I know you like to invent and you like food and you like drinks. Like you said, you're always probably experimenting. Do you know a lot of the other, meat drinkers that use it also for cooking?
Yeah, we've had a lot of customers actually come up to us and talk to us about how they're using our meads. We have one person near us, right down here in Robizonia. She was making jellies and jams out of it, using especially the cherry was going really well in that. We've talked to other people who are making different sauces, using it in barbecue sauces, different hot sauces. So we've been seeing that side of things take over as well. Again, anything that you might use a wine to cook with, I would argue mead will go better because you have that honey backbone to it as well. So that honey is going to come through in that finished product as well.
And funny that you mentioned honey. I mean, that's all over the conversation, but that's kind of like our next topic here. Tell us a little bit about honey and you know, and the different types of honey. And as I was talking to you earlier, and as I was reviewing some of the content that we're going to be covering here, I just learned that is, you know, sourced, you know, all that kind of stuff. Tell us, take us through that little journey of the types of different. There was multi-flower and polyflower,
monofloral and polyfloral.
Okay,
we'll get there. So honey is an incredible natural product, right? It's made from honeybees. They're the only creature on earth that makes it. They take in nectar from flowers and turn it into honey. It becomes part of their food source. But honeybees are a creature kind of like humans. They make way too much food for what they can consume. So we're able to
They hoard it.
They do. They'll make more honey than they could ever use. So we're able to take a lot of it and not hurt the bees when we do that. But every single flower is going to produce a different type of honey. All right. So as many flowers are out there, you could theoretically have that many types of honey. Now, when we start talking about like a polyfloral honey, that means that's typically a wildflower honey. That means that the bees are going out and just gathering honey from all over the place. It's typically, you know, any backyard beekeeper, they'll have typically wildflower honey. But because of the way we do a lot of our agricultural system in the country, we're able to have specific types of honey. So what we call monofloral honey. So the bees are pulling from kind of single sources. And of course you can't always, you know, you can't tell bees where to go. So they're going to get multiple sources in there, but as long as 60 or 70% is coming from one thing, you won't taste it. Right. So most of what we work with is orange blossom honey. So it's a kind of a win-win. So beekeepers will take their honeybees into these orange orchards in order to pollinate all the orange trees. And what we get out of it is some nice orange blossom honey. But we can have everything from avocado blossom honey, meadow foam blossom honey. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of different types of honey. So this is one aspect that I'm really excited about mead for the future, because we haven't even like scratched the surface of the different types of honeys that are out there yet. Yeah,
there's a lot of ground to cover, which is what makes this journey and some of the stuff that we're going to talk about even more interesting, is that there is so much potential for expansion, education, you know, awareness. It's incredible and a fun journey, because we can drink the Kool-Aid all along the way. So and what is source honey? You know, that's something I learned today.
So we like buying what's called true source honey. There's true source certification, meaning we can track the honey from the beehive all the way to our bottle. It's been a problem in recent years with places, especially overseas, cutting honey with corn syrup. It's a way to kind of spread out the honey. As you know, honey is a very expensive sugar source for us. So it's a way that people will dilute the honey, but then sell it as pure honey to get the high product price, but it's not the same. So we only buy true source honey, or we know the beekeepers that are making it. And so in that case, we know that it's going to be true source as well. So if you're just starting out, buy from a true source honey place, or one of a local backyard beekeeper, because that way you know it's going to be pure honey in that case.
Is this stuff hard to make, like for any enthusiast that wants to kind of, how craft beer enthusiasts, they make their own craft beer and people even make their own wine. Is this that much more difficult than, say making craft beer or making your own wine?
So it's interesting compared to beer. So it's much easier to make compared to beer, but it's much harder to master. Beer, on the other hand, is much harder to make up front, but it's much faster to master, in my opinion. So mead is, like I said before, it's just honey, water, and yeast. So anybody can do that. But then following the actual nutrients, the actual oxygen levels, the actual yeast, the temperature, all the things that make good mead good, that stuff takes a little bit of time and practice. And that part is harder than beer. The other difference is that beer takes a long time on brewing day to make. So it's a couple hour process when you're making a beer. Honey is a very quick process up front. You're kind of just mixing things together and letting it go. But then it's more of a process along its journey. So as it's fermenting, you're checking the nutrients along the way, and it's much more hands-on throughout the process.
Speaking about mixing, you just got me thinking a little bit. Is there kind of a way like to mix, maybe mead with some wine, and maybe with some mead with some beer? I mean, is there some hybrids and some stuff out there? Or is that we're gonna leave that for the next generation of?
No. We can go there. So you can make a mead beer hybrid. That's called a braggot. In Pennsylvania, so we fall under Pennsylvania law, and we're covered under a winery license. We are not allowed to have malted grain on our premises. But we're reaching out to different breweries to work with us to make some beer that uses like 40% honey in it. Those can get awesome. There's a couple of those on the market already from the bigger beer makers. You can also make it with grapes, so that's called a piment. I've done one with Cabernet grapes at home already, and that got awesome. But then you can also make different cocktails with it as well, which is another awesome avenue. I'm a huge fan of good cocktails, and so I like mixing these all the time into cocktails. This one, for example, goes really well with any gin. So some gin and a little lemon, and make a spritzer out of it. It's just that's why I say we're just scratching the surface of what mead can be and will be eventually.
You're making the possibilities endless, man, yes. And that's incredible. That you can do all of those things by mixing and experimenting different types of products. Is that part of the larger vision for Rebel Hive to be able to expand and potentially be able to have the licenses and the possibility to create those blends? Is that part of the larger ambition and vision of the company?
Yeah, absolutely. So our vision is to eventually have a full line of meads year round. We'll have some barrel aging that's going for a couple years that we can release. We have some aging in a cellar that we can release over time. We'll have a line mixed with some grapes. Eventually, we'd like to get a distilling license to start distilling some of the meads. I've had that once before, and it's incredible. I've seen people make vinegar out of it. So you get, instead of like a balsamic vinegar, for example, like with wine, we can make a mead vinegar. To my knowledge, there's no word for that. There might be, but I don't know of it. So I've had one vinegar made out of mead, and again, it's awesome. So you get that
Man, I like to try that.
Yeah, you get that acid bite, but also the honey comes through as well. So it's incredible. So we haven't even scratched the surface of what this is going to be.
And the word versatile, I think it's very fitting after I've learned what I've learned after knowing you and seeing the range of products. And what I like is having such a close relationship with you, and both in business and personal, is that I get to be part of that testing crew of the products that you make. And I'm telling you, I'm not going to spoil it, but we have some really, really good stuff coming up right now. And speaking of coming up, what's coming up next? What do we got going? I think we're about to go on number 5 now.
Yeah. Do you want to take a honey break?
A honey break, sure. Let's. Okay. Yeah, well, absolutely. So we're just coming back from a little bit of number 4, and we're going into a honey break, you called it.
Yes.
And you just brought me back some memories. This is something that we did back at Dr. Bill's office when I first learned what mead was. What do we have here? What do we got going on?
I'm going to take you through a little bit of a range of different honeys. So we're going to start with this. This is a wildflower honey. So again, polyfloral honey. This is from, this one here is from the Beekeeper's Daughter. They're in Pennsylvania, a local company, awesome people there. So it's wildflower. You'll get a lot of.
It's really sweet.
Yeah, really sweet. Yeah. Honey's very sweet. All right, so I just wanted to give you a baseline of kind of what bees randomly going all over the place taste like. Next, huge shout out to Sants. We use a lot of their products. They're awesome family-run company out of Easton. This is orange blossom honey. This is the primary honey that I like to work with. So again, you're gonna get like really bright citrus floral notes from this honey.
I mean, they taste completely different.
Yeah, absolutely different. So this is
that because of the different type of flowers?
different flowers, yep.
Yeah.
Whatever flower they're coming from, it's completely different. So I always like doing this experiment with different people. There's a lot of people who still don't realize that all honeys are different depending on where it comes from.
And it's really hard to get honey that tastes the same.
Yes.
As well.
Yep. And this last one, I'm gonna end with my favorite honey. This is called Meadow Foam Blossom. You're gonna get a lot of vanilla, marshmallow, a little cotton candy from that.
Totally different.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Mm-hmm. So tons of like vanilla and toasted marshmallow from that.
Now, what do you use this from the lineup that we have?
So
we've had about 4 different. We've gone through the it's not mead, it's not you, it's mead, and then we went through the Respect Your Elders, and then we went to the Cherry Lee Lewis and the Citra.
Yep.
What have you? I mean, I don't know if you can even share that.
Yeah, no. So most of what I use is orange blossom honey. I love working with Sants. Again, awesome family-owned company. It's a very old company as well, out of Easton, Pennsylvania. And then Meadow Foam Blossom honey, we're gonna try that one next that I use this in. And you'll get those big, marshmallow and vanilla notes coming through that mead. So
are we doing a flight next? Also, is that the flight?
That was the flight. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Well, this is the flight of honey.
Yep, that's the honey.
Okay,
that's the honey.
All right, what do we got coming up next after this?
All right.
So this does give us a little bit of a baseline.
So we're gonna go from that to our sweetest mead of the night.
Okay,
that'll come through with the honeys that we just tried.
All right, let's bring that on, and we're live here on Instagram too. We got some people watching as we do this tasting, and you got the opener here.
Opener,
we're gonna
2
get
cups.
to.
All right.
This is gonna be the sweetest one. I don't know if I've had this one.
I don't think you have. This one.
Now this is monthly or seasonal or
quarterly. So we do this once a year.
That's why I'm having it.
We make it and it'll sell out. So we released this about 2 weeks ago. We'll be through this in about another 2 or 3 weeks. It's selling very fast. I will warn you, this is our sweetest today.
Okay.
So this is called Meadow of Mangoes. So I use a lot of mangoes in this. Cheers. And then I actually back sweeten this with the Meadow Foam Blossom honey.
So you did back sweeten these. And for those of you who are watching, back sweeten is when you add the sweetener after you remove all the. Now, did you remove it all or you remove some of it?
No, just some of it in this case. But then I back sweeten, so I add honey back into this, and I added the Meadow Foam Blossom honey into this one.
Ryan, and what do you come up with these inventions? Like, how do you? Because you not only the founder of the company and the CEO, and I've known you for years, and you keep adding all these products. I think you're also the research and development.
Yeah, I am, yes.
What do you come up with this stuff, man? How do you
I'm always testing new products, always testing new flavors, testing new honeys. So what I like to do is take our traditional and add flavors to that to see how they'll taste. I'll do, a range of experiments, so to see from, just a little bit of the addition to like a real heavy addition, and everywhere in between to see what goes well together. I love food, I love alcohol, so any type of food that goes well together tends to go well together in this. Honey always builds the backbone or the basis of it. So anything that goes well with honey is going to go well in our finished product.
But how do you know when you have a winner?
I like it. I like it. So
when you like it,
that's it.
And you let everybody else taste it.
Yeah, I like it. I let other people try it, and if everybody else likes it, then we run with it.
Amazing. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
And this is the sweetest. Is this also 12%?
This is also 12%. Yes.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Listen, by number 4, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore.
Everything just.
Yeah. So the honey that we added to this really brings out the mango in this one. This goes really well in cocktails as well if you don't like the sweeter side of things. I mix this with some vodka and do what I call a mead-tini. So
martini.
vanilla vodka in this, shaken over ice. It goes awesome.
Man, I feel like if the bartenders discover mead, they're gonna have a field day with it. You know,
we had a restaurant actually out in Colombia to make this into slushies with us. So we've had people playing around with this as well.
As I was telling you earlier off camera, I really feel like the Latin American market can be very receptive to this because you know, everybody knows Latin Americans, they like good stuff. So I just don't feel there's enough awareness out there for the product, which is it's a very exciting journey to, you know, educate and at the same time, you know, bring awareness about the product. I feel like that's something that can kind of you know, have a greater impact and can be a fun journey.
Yeah.
All right. What do we got coming up next now? Since we all right, since we've covered, we got number 6 coming. I think we got something special coming up right now.
Yes,
I don't know if we stayed.
So a lot of people are afraid of sweet mead, and as I said, we can take it dry. We're going to have a dry one next, but I don't like sweet wine, and I do like sweet mead. It's a little bit of a different sugar profile to it than wine is. So if you're afraid of sweet things, I would try some sweeter mead as well, just to see if you like it. Just something different. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there.
Absolutely. So we have, well, I recognize this bottle because I have what I believe is probably the first case. I like to believe it's the first case. Tell us about this drink here, Ryan, and why is it that I like it so much? My wife loves this. I got to bring one of these bottles back home from here. I don't even know if I told her that I have some of these. Cheers. Here.
This one is called Kingmaker. It is a black currant mead. It's an off-dry mead. This is one of the first ones that you had that you fell in love with. So named it after you, Kingmaker.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Thank you so much, my brother, for naming this drink after me. We have a drink named after us here called Kingmaker. Okay, well, if you want to know why, you're gonna find out why.
This is another one, 12% alcohol.
My wife loves this, by the way.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. This is one of my favorite or best meads that I've made. The black currant just gives it that nice acidity to it. It drinks like a red wine. Typically, I like to decant this first, so you know, open it up for half hour to an hour before you drink it. It gets all that bite out of it. I also made this to age for years, so you open this in 5 years from now, it should be perfect.
I can't wait.
So, we're going through it too fast.
This is so good, and I've been, you know, I have 2 cases of it that I just got from you. It's not because you named it after me, but I told you how good it was and how much you liked it. It's a really nice blend between a dry wine and a semi-sweet wine, and it's just. I've always, you know, I like dry wine, red, but I like a little bit of sweet to it. But I found very few wines that have that. I like there's some Amarone de la Valpolicella, which is an Italian wine, that have that like that sweet aftertouch. And to me, this was like the perfect blend. Perfect. You got it right. When I had it, when I tasted it, it was on.
Thank you.
It was on, and that's why it's good to experiment because you never know when you're gonna find something that you love. Cheers.
And this is another good one. You know, drinking it straight. I mean, we drink this straight all the time. If you want to experiment, it goes really well with bourbon. If you're a cigar drinker, this is the perfect drink with a cigar. Especially medium to dark.
We're gonna have one of these bottles here. We're gonna do a cigar podcast on Saturday.
Oh, awesome!
So
this is the one.
We're gonna
for
have
cigars.
some of these over here. Yeah, I thought about that. I haven't, you know, actually, I think we smoked a cigar when you brought the first bottle of this. That was just a coincidence.
Yeah. One of our top salesmen at the company, he's a cigar aficionado, and he drinks this all the time with cigars.
Where can we find some of these products? Ryan, and I know you mentioned that at the beginning, and there's some people watching, and this is going to be, we're going to share this online as well. Where can we find some of these products here right now, the way it is? So
most of these you can find at our farmers markets. So any of our farmers market stands, you can have free samples. We are at the 5 farmers markets. That's Hershey, York. It's the one I couldn't think of before.
York.
So Hershey, York, Roots, Green Dragon, and Lancaster Central farmers market. If you get to Lancaster, Central Market is incredible. It's the oldest farmers market in the U.S. Dates back pre-United States even. So King of England formed it, and it's still there in existence today. You know, new building obviously built there, but yeah, you can try all of our products there. If you don't get to one of our farmers market stands, we also are in a lot of the Weiss, Giant, and all of Wegmans in Pennsylvania right now. So stop by and try it. And then also Iron Pigs Stadium, the Coca-Cola Park out in the Lehigh Valley. We're there as well on tap with our still products.
Yeah, you can find these on any of your local markets, as you've heard Ryan say. And the plan is, and the vision is to expand these throughout the entire state of Pennsylvania, the entire country, and eventually globally. I've known Ryan for many, many years. He's been a client and then has become a friend. I've helped his business in several funding rounds, and now we have something exciting that we're going to talk a little bit about towards the end of the tasting presentation that we have. But what do we have? What do we have left, man? We got like three or more.
Three left.
Three more to cover.
Also, we do sell online as well. So we ship to.
We should have started with that.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Ship to I want to say 38 states now.
38 states.
We ship to ship to all the ones that we're legally allowed to. There's still.
I didn't know that. I just learned something new. I didn't know that we can ship.
Yeah.
That's where we need to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that nationwide expansion is going to be sooner than we thought.
Yes.
Again, you can find us online as well, and they can order right from the website?
Yeah, right on our website.
Right from the website.
RebelHiveMeadery.com.
Okay, excellent. Well, that's an interesting. Honestly, Ryan, has the company had a lot of demand online as well, or are you just mainly focusing on expanding? What's the challenge with that? How does that work?
Yeah, we do get some demand online. We're mostly focused direct to consumer right now in Pennsylvania, just to get it in people's hands so they can taste it. We have been expanding our online presence though, as more and more people catch up with mead. We're getting it shipped everywhere down to Florida, to the Midwest. We've had it kind of shipping all over the place. I will say if you do get it shipped, the shipping cost is a little bit higher because it's alcohol. So it makes sense to get closer to a case at a time if you can.
Quantity,
just because
scale, economies to scale, right? You don't want to just ship 2 bottles because you're probably going to pay the same.
You pay the same in shipping, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So we do that, but once you get to a case, we have free shipping, and you get 10% off as well online. So it's worth it to get a case. But yeah.
Yeah, cheers, brother. And
Cheers.
This is a close. I don't know. This is probably my favorite. Although you have one coming up, are we gonna go into any of the carbonated? Okay,
yeah, we'll do that next.
Okay, all right,
we'll
cool.
tease.
All right, but this is definitely my favorite red wine. If I can call it that, my favorite red.
Still
mead.
probably. Yep.
And we're here. This is the last of the tasting lineup that we have. And we survived. I think. What do we have here, Ryan?
So
and I'm still drinking Kingmaker, by the way.
We do have one more after this, actually.
That's one more. Okay.
One more. But
I think we can make it.
So this is a new line that we're looking to go into. Hoping to have it out by the end of this year, and then next year we're going to hit the market hard with this. This is mead that's 5% alcohol. I'm calling it a honey seltzer. It drinks close to like what seltzers taste like, but you still have that honey backbone. So you don't get that thinness that you get from seltzers. You get a nice honey, honey flavor to it. And then we do all sorts of flavoring. So the first one we're going to have here, this is a peach. Again, this is 5% alcohol now, carbonated.
I've had the peach before.
I've had peach, yes.
And I think I've made it the official drink of the Biz with Blad podcast because it's only 5% alcohol.
I love it.
So I don't get my guests too drunk and they stay coherent throughout the whole thing. So we've had these and we've had you have two.
This is a new one I brought you.
I haven't, but there's another one that it's already in production. what's that one called?
That's called Space Case.
Space Case.
Yeah,
I've served the guest Space Case.
Another hopped one.
And I think the peach is a little bit sweeter.
It is a little bit sweeter, yeah. So these are going to be in cans. They're going to be in kegs. So you'll start to see them at bars, restaurants. We'll have these at our baseball stadium, and we're going to expand to other stadiums as well with this. This is going to be just a very crushable mead. You'll be drinking cans of this over the summer.
I feel like, it's interesting because, we serve it nice and cold in a champagne glass because, it's got a little bit of carbonation to it. And, we talk and I feel like people, they just get a little nice, but they don't, nobody gets drunk from drinking this. So I think it's very digestible. It's a drink that you can kind of be drinking without getting too drunk. So that's one of the reasons I like it. I was like, all right, this is going to be the drink for the podcast.
Yes.
And I hope we can maybe get a podcast version of the drink. And I like the Space Case as well, but this is just sweeter.
Yeah, this one's a little sweeter because of the peach. Yep. Yeah. And then this is a new one you haven't tried yet.
I hope I like it.
So this one,
what are we calling that?
This one I'm calling Quiet Please. It's a take off of an Arnold Palmer. So the old golfer, he liked his lemonade and his tea. So this is a lemonade tea. I'm an avid golfer, love getting out on lemonade tea. I love getting out on the course, so I made this to drink while you're golfing on a hot day.
Wow.
Again, 5% alcohol in that. Take cans of this out with you golfing.
It does taste a little bit like iced tea.
Yep.
But carbonated, and then it has a little bit of
lemon to it. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know where you come up with this stuff, man. Honestly, really creative. The wide range of drinks that you have.
Yeah.
Now, are the carbonated drinks? Are they going to be like all year round? It's going to be all year round.
Yeah, we'll have them all year round. We'll hit the market heavy during the summer. Spring, summer, fall when people are drinking carbonated drinks. But we will have them during the winter. I started playing with some flavors that can go into the winter as well. But yeah, our plan is to get mass distribution with this kind of as early as possible in cans. We've already began talks with a couple locations. I won't call them out now, but a couple mass distributors as well as different wholesalers that want this product.
Yeah, and this is not going to be the final packaging for them.
Right. Yeah.
This is just
these are test bottles here. Yeah. Our plan is to do these in cans, and then any bar, restaurant will do some kegs to get those into there. But yeah, cans are what we're going towards. Yeah.
Now, you probably know the answer to this question. I always wondered, why don't they make like kegs of wine?
They do.
They do make kegs of wine.
And so do we. We have kegs of our still products.
Okay.
Not too many places use it. It's starting to become a little bit more popular now. But kegs essentially don't go bad ever. So, when you open a bottle of wine, it's going to go bad in, a couple days or a week or two. A keg is sealed. So you're just tapping out of it. A lot of places they don't know how to serve it typically. It's just always been more appealing, I think, for the general consumer as well to, get beer out of a tap and then pour a bottle of wine. But there are places that are starting to pick up on the kegged wines.
Kegged wines, I never even heard of it. And it does kind of take away from the way we've been raised to drink wine, right, out of a bottle, from that experience, that expectation, that perception that you're going to be drinking wine out of an aged bottle. And exactly. It's going to be limited in nature. And I can see all of that, the reason why. And I don't know how well you can age wine in kegs, but they do it in barrels. So I figure, what's the difference, right? You have a barrel of wine. I guess that's the natural place where they come from.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you won't get the same oxygen that gets into a keg. So a keg's pretty much completely sealed. whereas a bottle will start to get oxygen in through the cork over time, so you get a little bit of an aging process, which some people like. But most wines on the market are made to drink immediately. Like, they're not made to age for a long time, so drinking out of a keg is not a big deal. And while we're on the subject of aging, this is something we didn't talk about yet. Mead ages extremely well. I've opened the oldest mead I've drank that I had was about 12 years old, and it was still getting better. I wish I saved it. But it ages so well compared to like a lot of wines, and especially
That's amazing.
beer.
I mean, you would know because you put science behind everything that you do. So,
Yeah.
you know, that's definitely something to take into consideration. What do we have coming up next? We're
All
definitely
right,
not
we got
gonna
our
drink this
final
5%. We got one more bottle, and I recognize that bottle over there
Yep.
coming up. And I think we need two more cups.
Okay.
I recognize that,
Yes.
but I'm not gonna speak on it. Yes, he's the one that took
Had it.
took it to a cigar lounge, and they opened it up, and he sent me a picture of it. I showed him that
Yeah,
picture.
he showed me that. That's awesome.
Tell us a
Yeah,
little
so-
bit about this gem that you have here, because I gave my last bottle of this to my cousin Jairo the other day.
This one, I've got a little bit of this aging yet, but so every year for our anniversary, I do a specialty mead that I call Rebellion. This is our year 4 anniversary. One of my favorite cocktails is the Manhattan. So I made this kind of after the Manhattan. For this, I used 3 different types of honey. I used orange blossom that I typically work with. I added some clover blossom honey to it, just to.
We didn't taste that in the honey.
We didn't taste that,
flight,
no.
okay.
Clover is a very neutral honey, I'll say. So I just added that to boost the alcohol level a little bit. And then I also added some avocado blossom honey to this, which is a darker honey, so it gives it a bit more of a darker taste and feel to it.
An avocado because it comes from the avocado flower.
Avocado
So,
flower,
okay, I
yep,
didn't
yep.
want to assume anything.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And then I added cherries to this, took it completely dry. So it went up to 14.5% alcohol, completely dry mead, aged in Woodford barrels. So you'll get
Woodford Reserve.
yes, Woodford Reserve.
All right, go easy on that, man. This is 14%, bro.
this is a good
And
one.
this is our last flight
And
here.
this is my favorite mead that I've ever made.
Cheers.
It's one that I'll try to do in the future again, but it's going to be
Well,
hard to
I
replicate.
definitely drink this if I wanna, if I feel like drinking. This is definitely, this is a combination of a wine and some sort of like a, you know, like a Remy or something. like,
Yeah.
like, I mean, would you say that's fairly high content of alcohol?
It is a
does
high
feel
alcohol
like
content.
it does feel like a
Yeah.
hard liquor.
Yeah, it's definitely much thinner than the other ones. It's, you know, just you get that hard alcohol coming through, but it's all mellowed together. So I released this in 2023. I made it back in 2021. So this has been aging about 5 years now.
This particular bottle or this release that you have now is 5 years of aging
Yes.
in the making.
Yes.
Now you released it for your 4th anniversary.
We released this. No, I actually released this 2 years ago.
Okay,
So,
all right. So this
yeah.
is the same batch, kind of like the same batch from the one that I had.
Yes.
here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can taste notes of you'll get a bit of sherry notes from the aging process. A little bit of that oxygen comes through, but still very.
Yeah, it's pretty strong.
Very
this
strong,
Is, this
yeah.
is strong and dry. There's hardly any sweetness to it.
Yep.
And you know, and it's kind of like somewhere along the line. You put it like closer to a brandy. Like what's the alcohol?
Yeah, I'd say this
content of a
this
brandy.
drinks like a brandy. Probably somewhere in this region, around 14.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
definitely like hard liquor.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would put it closer to a hard liquor than a wine.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so it shows you the full scale of what mead can be. You've had that super sweet one to this, which has 0 sugar left over.
This is the highest alcohol percentage by volume that you produce. I'm sure you.
Yeah,
I'm sure
on
you-
commercial scale, yes.
On the commercial scale, okay. Well, I'm sure
I
you
did one at home
experimented
that
with-
was I did one at home before that was 21% alcohol, but that's hard to do. So anyone looking to make mead themselves, I know we started touching on that earlier. The first thing I say is to make a low alcohol mead. So stick to 8% or lower. Everyone I meet tries to do like 20% alcohol. And it
like
is,
moonshine. That's like moonshine.
It's really hard to get over like 12% and keep the yeast healthy. You really have to know what you're doing at that point. So I say stick to 8% and get a really high quality honey. Orange blossom honey is awesome to start with. And use beer yeast. That's my other trick that I'll teach people. This one actually does use a wine yeast, but when you use wine yeast, you really have to watch your fermentation temperatures. You really have to keep them low.
You're getting really geeky with this stuff.
I know. I can nerd out on it.
This is for all of you meat geeks out there that have been watching this. I know you guys are gonna go nuts with this. I have no intention of making mead. I'm just gonna drink it from Rebel Hive, as I always have.
Come buy our stuff.
Ryan, this has been a phenomenal experience. I'm glad we did this. I'm glad that we came up with the idea of doing a tasting, and also we have a lot of milestones to celebrate. And we're a little tipsy here, I'll admit. Even though it's been pretty manageable drinking and tasting these 9 drinks that we've had here today. I'm happy to announce, and I don't want to take too much from Ryan's thunder here, I have been hired as a consultant to assist with a public race for Rebel Hive Meadery, which we have successfully been approved for. So you will see Rebel Hive raising capital for its expansion, for its not only national reach, but some other visions that are going to be contained within the business plan. We are already having conversations with investors. There is a private placement memorandum, and we have a securities attorney retained. And I just want to bring a little bit of awareness for those accredited investors out there, and perhaps the rest of the public, that will be able to participate in this race, which is an exciting time for us, because we've been working on this for years now. It's been a long time. So congratulations, cheers, and what a great way to celebrate this announcement that we have. Do you have anything to say about what the experience has been like? And you know, some of the stuff I know we're involved in, we can't really talk about much, but we're just fresh out of an approval right now, and there'll be a structure to all of that. But
yeah, no, I'm really excited about it. Like I've been saying, that we've just scratched the surface of what mead can be and what it is. You know, we've had everything from super sweet, super dry, to carbonated, 12%, 5%. We didn't even try any cocktails today. We'll do that another time. So there's just a massive market out there for mead. We've just started, started getting to market now, even though we're 6 years in business. We've just started doing some barrel aged stuff, some different fruits, spices, and there's so much more to do. I have probably over 100 recipes yet that we haven't even done yet. And
I know.
yeah, and there's so much more to play with that I'm excited for, and so many collaborations with breweries, wineries, everything else. So I'm excited.
Ryan, and now that we've come out and made this strategic announcement that we would plan to make, and we wanted to do it this way by drinking the Kool-Aid, right? That's the way that Ryan and I discussed we were going to kind of make this announcement and bring some awareness. Tell us a little bit about the demand, how challenging it has been for you to keep stock of this stuff because of the demand, and one of the challenges of this type of business is that you have to produce everything up front. You can't work on pre-orders or anything like that. And that's where the need for capital for this amazing vision that Rebel Hive and Ryan have has been so interesting. Tell us a little bit about how much demand you have compared to the product.
We can't keep up. So we can't keep up. I've turned down a couple wholesale accounts right now because we can't keep up with production. So when we started back in 2019, we were doing 80-gallon batches. Within about 3 months, we outgrew those. I stepped up to 300-gallon batches. That's still what we're doing today, but I now have 2 different batches going at once. We have to step that up again, and we haven't even hit the carbonated market yet. We've talked to a couple wholesale distributors and wholesale retailers that want that product. So they're ready to go tomorrow if I had it. So I'm kind of holding them off right now. There's a few. I'm not going to throw out the names right now, but yeah, I'm happy to talk in person to anybody about those. And as we've seen, seltzers have exploded over the past couple of years. Cocktails ready to go have exploded. Beer is on a decrease. Wine is on a decrease. Not saying that those are going anywhere. They'll always be staples.
Yeah.
But these alternative beverages are on the rise. People are looking for gluten-free. People are looking for flavor. People are looking for fun, and that's what we provide. So our demand has been enormous, and that's just in our own little section of Berks County to Lancaster right now. So we're looking to expand all of Pennsylvania, hit a couple neighboring states over the next year, and then expand East Coast and across the US over the next 2 to 3 years and go international from there.
Absolutely. This has been such a fun journey, and I don't like to get involved in things that I'm not passionate about. And obviously, I drank the Kool-Aid a long time ago.
Yeah.
We've been working together. Thank you so much for the opportunity, for not only allowing me and my company to guide you through this whole process, but accomplishing the approval of these capital raising tool that we have, Regulation A, and some of the stuff we're fresh out of it, and obviously we're under on a strict NDA. Some things we can discuss, but guys, for those investors out there that want to get behind something that's already in production, that has a vision, with a CEO that obviously has the skills to be able to scale this company, we will be leaving some links when cleared by our securities attorney to the private placement memorandum, the pitch deck, and the business plan, so that you guys can be part of this amazing journey of raising capital and expanding Rebel Hive Meadery. Ryan, thank you so much for coming out here today. And again, thank you so much for trusting me and the opportunity that you've given me. And we're going to take this product to the entire country and the world.
Thanks for everything. Cheers.